Hello all, I'm Andrew, the Happy Mountain Biker. Today I'm taking you through a journey about how awkward, unsafe, and inconvenient biking in Sudbury can be. To do this, I'm just going from one place to another, 3 different routes. Each route is going to be a little less safer than the last. It's going to be first route, all residential streets. Some have bike lanes, some don't, and gravel shared paths. The second route is going to take me down a strode first with a bike path, then down another gravel shared path, back through another residential area without bike paths, and across another strode, but I use a set of lights to do that. Third, last but not least, stick around to watch this one because I almost got hit twice filming it. I'm going to take just a strode. It's the fastest, most convenient way back and forth to our location, but it is also the most dangerous. Now, to make things fair, I'm only going to be using my mountain bike. I have an e-bike I typically commute with, but I'm not going to be using it. Just not everyone has one. So I'm just going around on my mountain bike. Hopefully it'll get some attention with the city officials and we'll get some work done. This bike infrastructure needs some work in this town. I'm going to prove it. Stick around, especially for the last video. I think the results are going to surprise you. They surprised me. So here we start. We're going through Rotary Park to Walmart. This is what I consider the safest route. It has the most bike infrastructure, but unfortunately this is the only road in the whole flour mill with a bike path. It's just a painted line, and well, look at the quality of the road. I'd hardly call it worthy of biking on. It's always full of garbage, it's always full of cars. Just go figure, today I biked down and no one's parked in it. Yesterday, about 5 people I saw parked in the bike lane. I'm constantly calling the city and I don't even know if they come out and do anything. So here we want to turn left. There's no bike lane on this side, but on the other side there is. There's 2 cars that are parked in the bike lane. Go figure, the bike lane just stops at that corner. I don't know why. It doesn't go straight through. Back here behind Burger King on Notre Dame, we have the Junction Creek Trail. It's one of the worst trails in the city for drug addicts and whatnot, but the city recently put in lights. If you can see all the light posts, that helped deter a lot of thieves, a lot of drug activity. So thankfully they did that. There's quite a few street crossings. They're not hard to navigate if you actually stop and wait. In this one, there's a sign that says to yield to pedestrians crossing. No one ever does. The cars just keep going on their merry way. Back into Flour Mill residential area, no bike path. This road is definitely wide enough to get one. We cross onto another path, into another area. Again, no bike path. Make a left. In front of us is the entrance to Rotary Park. This is a shared park, so there's always people walking, always people biking. It's closed off to motor vehicles, thankfully. Unfortunately, some people on dirt bikes and whatnot still get through. As you saw a man walking by there. I like this trail because it's quiet, it's shaded. When it's really hot out, it's nice and cool. Unfortunately, it goes through a swamp, so it kind of stinks. It gets really nasty, especially when it's 40 degrees outside. Lots of wildlife to see. I've seen all kinds of, let's say, rabbits, partridge. I've seen bears. I mean, it's their territory. But it's a nice trip. There goes someone on an e-bike. There's a city crew member mowing the lawn. Funny thing about that, they maintain this trail during the summer. They will cut the grass along the sides of the trail. But despite how used it is, there's a view of the swamp. Anyway, despite how used it is, in the winter, they don't plow it. So all it is just trampled down snow, which makes it very, very, very hard to bike on. Especially if you have back issues or any kind of mobility issues. It just if you ever biked on flattened feet, just a bunch of potholes. It's really painful. If they plowed this during the winter, it'd be great just to go through. There's another biker and a runner. We're almost at Adanac Ski Hill. So far, no major inconveniences. I'd say none, really. It's pretty easy to get to. There's been no problem to go through this trail. This small part leads to the Sudbury Film Studio. Something filming there now, I don't know what. You'll see a bunch of cars parked there. Last year, they were filming the latest Resident Evil movie back here. It was full of cars. I saw, Raccoon City PD police cars and all kinds of things parked back here. Now, here's the one inconvenience on this trail. It crosses train tracks. I just happened to miss the train, but if you get stuck with it, well, you're stuck with it. It's not hard to carry a bike over train tracks anyway. Now this trail back onto residential streets. We're in New Sudbury now. No bike lane. Plenty of room. No bike lane. Cars typically park on the side of the road. Not that there's anything illegal about it. It just makes biking harder. You need to go around the cars. And now the city wants to make it illegal for people to park on their own property on their front lawn. I see that a lot. So they're going to want to be on the road. Oh, this guy. Watch this guy. You can't see, but he visibly looked behind him to see where I was. I like that. Good kudos to that guy. We're on Atlee Street. There's a bike lane. Not much of one. And they put speed bumps in for the cars. And the bike lane just ends. And here we are. There's Walmart right in front of us. Pretty quick. Pretty inconvenient. Pretty convenient, I mean. Just no hassles. Just a good, easy bike ride. Not too long. Not too far. This took me 21 minutes, 11 seconds, 5.8 kilometers. Not bad. Can do it again. Next up, the LaSalle Historical Trail. Look how far out of the way you need to go. So starting from the same point, we're just going to turn right instead of left. A bike lane on both sides of the road, but again, look at the quality of it. This trail, this whole path, I would say is the second, it's the second safest, not quite as convenient, and there is some dangers to it. Around the corner, the bike lane just ends. Now, across the street, if you can see in front of you, there's a dotted lines. There's a bike path. Across the street is a bike path. Unfortunately, you can't make a left turn into the bike path, so we need to cross the street, stop, wait for the light to change again, and keep going. That's quite inconvenient. That man did the same thing I usually do. Just cross the street before the turn signal, cross on the pedestrian path, and turn onto the bike path. It's not the right way to bike it, but it's how most convenient. So here's the bike path down Notre Dame. Unfortunately, it doesn't go all the way. If you've seen the first video where we cross the street at Burger King, this bike path ends and begins on each side of the road at that crossing. The silly thing is, if you're on the other side of the road, it just ends at that crossing. What are you supposed to do? Jump on the road? This crossing, I like, they raised the road to this level of the sidewalk, so it's like a speed bump for the cars. It slows them down good. I don't Don't know how many times I've seen cars just whip right around there and almost hit somebody. So there's the rest of the path. It leads to the highway. I guess it's understandable it ends where the highway begins, but it does lead to an entrance to the LaSalle Historical Trail. Now, the other entrance is down LaSalle. You'd have to turn right at the lights we were just at and bike on the sidewalk to get to it. There's no way I'm crossing 7 lanes of traffic to enter a path when this curb isn't even cut either. You have to jump the curb. So this entrance comes to where the dam is. Of course, it's blocked off to keep motor vehicles out, quads, skidoos, things like that, because it's a pedestrian shared path. Nice view though. My daughter loves biking across this. She just loves the view. Another thing I like about this trail though, straight ahead up that trail, there's mountain bike trails. They're spread out all through along here. Mountain bike trails all over. And there's a nice person walking their dog. Now, I say this is the second safest because, of course, you're biking on a bike lane on a stroad. And you're using a shared path, but you got to go through a residential neighborhood without bike lanes. It's not super busy or anything, but you still need to go on the road. The good thing about this path is there's multiple exits right into the residential areas. We just passed one. There's about 5 exits plus other streets to get to anywhere on LaSalle. If you need to go to Montrose Mall, if you need to go to the grocery store, there's a pet store, restaurants, or you got buddies that live in the neighborhood and you don't want to bike down LaSalle, this is a good alternative. At this point, I'm biking along with that chap that just came out of the trail. If you saw him, he just came out of a network of mountain bike trails. Good friendly chat we had. It's a nice trail to ride. Again, though, just like Rotary Park, not maintained in the winter, but very well used. The only maintenance this trail sees is from the community. The community of bikers will go around on snowshoes, walk through the bike paths, and flatten out the snow. They recently just got a little snowpacker and make fat bike trails all through here. It's really nice. It's a good setup for the community. And there's a tight squeeze. And a road crossing. No traffic. It barely sees traffic, thankfully. More posts. Dangerous to hit. Another crossing right near a school, so it can be busy here. And a bunch of blind turns. You gotta go slow through here. I almost hit a biker. Luckily they were stopped and let me go by. There they go. They were stopped waiting. I don't know why, but they were just stopped there. So there's the end of the trail. Onto the road. No bike lane. No bike lane at all. Look how wide it is. You can easily put a bike lane, but at least the road are in better shape than my neighborhood. I can at least say that much for the road itself is in better shape. More cars parked on the road. That's a city truck. Nothing wrong with parked on the road if you're allowed to. Thankfully, these are 4-way stops. I just yesterday, biking through here, had a lady wave me through at the stop. She said, "You know what? You're on a bike, you go first." That was very nice. Now, way up in the distance is the mall. Getting there is the problem. If you go straight through the stop sign, you're on LaSalle. There's no bike infrastructure and nowhere to cross at this point. So what I do, I hang a right here. I go a little ways down to where that fire station is. Make a left and there's a set of lights. I just wait for the lights and enter into the mall parking lot. That way it's much safer than darting across 5 lanes of traffic. especially on this road. And here we are. The exact spot we came in at Rotary Park. Not a bad trip, I'd say. 6.25 kilometers, 23 minutes, 16 seconds. So a little bit further and a little bit longer. So that adds to the inconvenience. It's a little bit out of the way. Welcome back to the third video. Okay, here we see the map. Straight down Notre Dame and straight down LaSalle. Easy peasy. I'm just going to start the video at the corner of LaSalle and Notre Dame. We've already been down this bike path, taking the LaSalle trail. See the cars bumping? They raised the sidewalk to the level of the sidewalk, so it acts as a speed bump, but the bike lane just ends here. You need to get into the road at this point. This dummy just stopped in the middle of a merge lane. A lot of people do it. I don't know why. They just do. Don't know how to drive. Now I need to merge. It's pretty calm day for a weekday. It's just late morning, early afternoon ride. See a guy crossing the street up ahead. He's probably heading into the LaSalle Trail. I mentioned there was an entrance down LaSalle. Well, it's coming up right at the end of those guardrails on the left side. So you'd have to bike on the sidewalk from that corner to this point to get on the LaSalle Trail if you didn't take the bike road all the way up. So that's what I was saying by it was a little inconvenient getting to the other side. There's just a sidewalk to go down. In any case, I just nearly got missed by a truck. I bet that student driver was a little nervous. Okay, so I'm going up a hill, and watch this person at the corner. Pull out right in front of me. I had to slow right down. I may only be out casually going about 14 kilometers or so, 14 kilometers an hour. If I was on my e-bike, I would have just smacked right into her. I'd have been doing about 30. It's pretty common for this road, unfortunately for me and every other biker who needs to go down it. Look at the condition of the road. I don't even expect cars to come down here, but they expect bikes to do it too. There's just so many holes. When I drive, I'm able to drive down this road. I don't even drive in this lane. That's how bad it is. You just thud, 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 thud. Every 10 seconds there's a hole. Thud, thud. Bad for your car. Another hole, another hole, another hole. It's like every 10 feet. Okay, this next guy coming up. Not him. Boy. Yeah, I can't believe the guy behind me right now honking his horn. Honk, honk. What do you want me to do? There's no bike lane. I bet it's one of those people who think bike lanes are a waste of money too. And he just barely missed me. Now there's some roadkill. I looked behind me before I went around, don't worry. I made sure there was room. The sad part is having to bike on the road with a seizure disorder, that could one day be me. It's not right. I'm not trying to find out if people in my condition can bike on the sidewalk, and I can't get an answer from anybody. It makes more sense than being on a road this busy. If any of you know, live in Canada and know the Highway Traffic Act and say that people with epilepsy and active seizures can bike on the sidewalk, please let me know, because even the police won't answer me. I've walked into their station and asked, and there's a well, we don't know. I guess maybe I'll take my chances. I mostly don't care. Really, they don't. It's a little hard though. On an e-bike, 60-pound e-bike, dodging pedestrians. Not that I'm a crazy fast biker or anything. I take my time. I do it for just casual fun. I don't know what's up with this dude's tail light. Looks like a circus light, both of them. It's kind of distracting. I thought at first he was going to turn into Princess Auto here, but just kept going through. It's a little weird. I've never seen that. Have you noticed a lot of cars are just coming right close to me as they pass, the ones that don't go fully around? Pretty scary. You can almost feel the wind off some of them. Like, it's insane. This is a mall. Remember I mentioned the LaSalle Trail? All of these places you can get to from the LaSalle Trail. You don't need to touch LaSalle. It's kind of funny. Basically, from about, well, what that intersection where that lady pulled out in front of me, all the way down to the new Sudbury Center. You don't have to touch this road to get to any of the businesses. I guess that makes it a little more convenient access. Rotary Park does not have that access. Once you're in it, you're in it. There's no exit to anything on the right side of this road. It goes through a swamp. I guess it doesn't make sense to build trails through a swamp that floods every year. Ooh, that one was a little uncomfortable. This person went right around me, thank you. That was close. It's funny, every truck that goes by, all you hear is brrr, like they're just angry they had to go around someone on a bike. It's kind of funny to listen to. I sometimes get a laugh out of it because so many people say bike lanes are a waste of money. I'm constantly arguing with people online that they're not a waste of money. They're a safety issue. Clearly, having to go down this road in anybody's condition is a safety issue. I remember one guy I told, well, I'll see you at rush hour. I'll only be doing about 14 kilometers an hour. The rest of the trucks and cars do about 65, even though the speed limit's 50. I hope you enjoy being late somewhere. He was not happy about that. But that's the speed I average down this road on my mountain bike, about 14 kilometers. It's uphill a lot of the way. At least it feels uphill. There are some. That guy barely waited for the person to get off the street. Okay, last block. Here's where I almost get hit. I would have face planted the side of someone's door if I hadn't slowed down to start making my turn. Not that I was slowing to a crawl. This is video at real speed, unlike the rest of them that were sped up. This one's at real speed. So right here, the road extends out a lane. Now you'd think it's just a turning lane, but it's not. It goes straight to the next intersection and becomes a turning lane. So here I am. I'm signaling that I'm making my turn. I have my right arm fully out. And look behind me. I see a car coming, so I moved over. But look at this. Just cut me right off. If I was going any faster, if I was going straight through and I hadn't slowed down, my face would be in that person's quarter panel. That's the unfortunately common issue with Sudbury drivers. They don't care about bikers. No respect at all. we're at the Walmart. I figured it's easier to just pull into the same spot every route I take. And boom, done. Stressful, but only 4 kilometers in 13 minutes and 25 seconds. You believe that? Wow, wasn't that a fun journey? So you've seen 3 different ways to get from one pretty central location. It's a very well occupied neighborhood, the flour mill, but it's not very well designed. And Walmart, a very, very popular destination. It's not just Walmart there, it's the whole mall. So first we had going through Rotary Park, which I consider the safest path. It's all gravel trail, there's bike lanes, there's a couple little streets without bike lanes, but they're not busy. So the distance, 5.81 kilometers, took me 21 minutes, 11 seconds. Not too bad if you're out for a casual ride. Second was the LaSalle Trail. It goes behind LaSalle Boulevard. That is what I consider the second safest. It's got a bike lane along this road, which just leads out to nowhere. It's a little inconvenient sometimes. Out of the way, as you see by the maps, it is 6.25 kilometers. Took me 23 minutes and 16 seconds. 2 minutes more than Rotary Park and about half a kilometer longer. Last was just straight down LaSalle Boulevard, another road, no bike infrastructure. I couldn't believe it. 4 kilometers. That is over almost 2 kilometers less, actually more than 2 kilometers less than the longest one, and a little less than 2 kilometers less than the most safest. It took me 13 minutes and 25 seconds. That's 10 minutes less than number 2 and 8 minutes less than the safest route. Talk about more direct, but the least safe. As you saw, I almost got hit by 2 cars. I couldn't believe that last guy just turned that lane I was in, goes straight through. What if I was going straight through, I hadn't slowed down to start turn? I was signaling that I was going to turn. Sudbury, you need better bike infrastructure, plain and simple. That's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a little long, but thanks for sticking through it.